So in the introduction of this magnetic effects of currents and magnetism, we just went through that whenever the charges are in motion, there will be a presence of magnetic field, right? So it is said that the branch of physics which deals about the electricity and magnetism is known as the electromagnetism, we call. Okay, so it is known that all the magnetic phenomena result from forces between electric charges in motion. Okay, so that means that whenever there is when the charges are in motion, obviously there will be a magnetic field. Okay, so coming to the two main points, that is a moving charge or a current sets up or creates a magnetic field in the space surrounding it. Okay, that means that only when the charges are in motion there will be a presence of magnetic field. When the charges is at rest, there is no magnetic field. Okay, and the second one, the magnetic field exerts a force on a moving charge or a current in the field. Okay, so whenever it is said that the charges which is moving in the presence of magnetic field, so that magnetic field that magnetic field exerts a force called as magnetic force on the moving charge. Okay, so these are the 2 points. So and you know that this both like electric field and magnetic field is a vector quantity. Okay, so it is denoted by the letter B vector, capital B vector. Okay, so next is regarding the force on a moving charge in a magnetic field. Okay, so coming to the figure. Okay, before that let me explain the theory part there. Okay, so see here, just I'll read out that the electric charges moving in a magnetic field experience a force while there is no such force on static charges. Suppose a positive charge q moves with velocity v in a magnetic field b and vector v makes an angle theta with b as shown in the figure. It is found from experiments that the charge q moving in the magnetic field B experiences a force. Okay, so see here, as I said, only the moving charges, only the charge which is in motion experiences the magnetic force. Okay, when the charge is at rest, it doesn't experience any magnetic force. Okay, so now we have taken a positive charge. Okay, we have taken a positive charge, that is q. So coming to the figure, you can see there you have three coordinate axes, x axis, y axis and z axis. Okay, so we have taken vector b along the direction of y. Okay, you can see the direction of magnetic field is along the y axis. Okay, and let us say that the q is moving along the direction with a velocity vector v makes an angle of theta. Okay, you can see there in the figure the q is moving in some direction making an angle theta with respect to the direction of magnetic field, and that v denotes the velocity of that charge. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to split that v, velocity of a charge, into two components. Okay, one will be along one will be along vector b. Okay, the direction of vector b, that component will be v cos theta, and along the x axis the component will be v sin theta. Okay, so see here, just I'll make it clear. So along the vector b the component will be v cos theta. So along the vector s x it will be along v sin theta. So this is how you are going to resolve the two components. Okay, you are going to resolve the v into two components, one is v cos and one is v sin. So now from the experimental observations, once you are resolved with this v into two components, from the experimental observation it is observed that the force which is experienced by the charge is directly proportional to the magnitude of the magnetic field. Okay, as you know that when the charge is in motion it experiences the magnetic field. Okay, it experiences the magnetic force. Okay, so due to that, from the experimental observation it is observed that the force which is experienced by the charge q will be directly proportional to the magnitude of magnetic field. Okay, that is the first point. So you can see there capital F is proportional to capital B. So next, okay, fine. It got reconnected. Wait for a minute. Okay, so see here. So the force is proportional to the next one. The force is proportional to the component of the velocity v in the perpendicular direction to the field b. Okay, it is said that the velocity component, that is the v sin theta, v sin theta is directly proportional to the F. Okay, the force experienced by the charge is directly proportional to the v sin theta. Okay, so combining this two, that is F is proportional to B and F is proportional to v sin theta, you are going to get equation as F is equal to F is proportional to BQV sin theta. Okay, F is proportional to BQV sin theta. So next, in terms of, in order to write in terms of equal terms, what we are going to do, we are going to add a constant, that is k. Okay, so hence the equation can be written as F is equal to BQV sin theta. F is equal to k into BQV sin theta. So this is the equation. So the value of k is the constant of proportionality whose value is found to be as 1. Okay, so next is coming to the direction. Okay, coming to the direction, in which direction the charge experiences the force. So it is said that as the direction of force F is perpendicular to both V and B, so we can express F in terms of vector form. That is vector F is equal to Q into V into B. Okay, V cross vector V cross vector B. Okay, so this is the force experienced by the charge in terms of vector form. Okay, so next about the direction. If vector V and vector B lie in the xy plane, the direction of vector F is perpendicular to this plane and points along plus z axis. Okay, so keep in mind that always the direction of force experienced by the charge will be perpendicular to the x and y axis. Okay, it will be always opposite, I mean perpendicular to the axis or perpendicular to the vector velocity and magnetic field. Okay, v will be always perpendicular to the velocity and magnetic field. So in the figure itself you can see that x and y has x has the velocity component and y has the magnetic field. So F will be, that is the force experienced by the charge, will be perpendicular to this two axis. That is nothing but we call that one as the z axis. Okay, so this is how we are going to express the force experienced by the charge which is moving along the, I mean which is moving in the presence of magnetic field. Okay, so from the experimental, from the experimental observation, it is said that F is directly proportional to B, that is the force experienced by the charge is directly proportional to the magnitude of magnetic field. Okay, more is the magnetic field, more is the force experienced by the charge. Next, the second one is F is directly proportional to V sin theta. Okay, so why it is we say that F is proportional, F is not proportional to V cos theta? Why is that we have not taken the other component of V? Okay, I'll come to that later. Okay, in the special cases I'm going to talk about that. So F is proportional to V sin theta. Combining the both, we are going to get F is proportional to BQV sin theta. Adding a constant, you are going to get the equation as F is equal to KBQV sin theta. Okay, so this is the force experienced by the charge which is moving in the presence of magnetic field. In terms of vector form, vector F is equal to Q into vector V cross vector B. Yes, Nikhil, do you want to say something? Yeah, Nikhil, tell me. Okay, fine. See, coming to the special cases. Okay, so and the direction, as you know, that always the force experienced by the charge will be perpendicular to the velocity and the magnetic field. Okay, so next, coming to the special case, you can see there, if V is equal to 0. Okay, if V is equal to 0, then F is equal to 0. So from the equation, F is equal to BQV sine theta. You can see there F is equal to BQV sine theta. From this equation, you can see if V is equal to 0, what happens? Everything will be nothing but equal to 0 itself. So the value of F is nothing but equal to 0 there. Okay. So it is said that thus a stationary charged particle does not experience any force. So it is getting reconnected. Okay, fine. The first case, that is nothing but V is equal, if V is equal to 0, F will be nothing but equal to 0. Thus, a stationary charge particle doesn't experience any force in a magnetic field. So, if that is the meaning of that first case. Coming to the second case, if theta is equal to 0 or 180 degree, then F is equal to 0. Okay. So, see here, if theta is equal to 0 or 180 degree, what does it mean? If the charge is moving along the direction of magnetic field, that is along the direction of y, or opposite to the direction of magnetic field, okay, or opposite to the direction of y axis, theta is equal to 0 or 180 degree. So what happens? Sine 0 is 0 and sine 180 is 0. Okay, so force experience will be nothing but equal to 0 according to this equation here. F is equal to kbqv sine theta according to this. Okay, if theta is equal to 0 or 180 degree, F will be nothing but equal to 0. So thus a charged particle moving parallel or anti-parallel to a magnetic field does not experience any force in the magnetic field. So whenever the charge is moving parallel or anti-parallel to the direction of magnetic field, it doesn't experiences any force. Okay. So this is the meaning of that special, I mean two cases. Okay. So next, moving to the next, that is the third case. If theta is equal to 0 degree, then F is equal to BQV sine 90. That is nothing but equal to BQV. As you know that if the charge particle, that is Q, is moving exactly perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, that is when uh, both are at 90 degree, the velocity of the particle and the direction of magnetic field, the force experienced by the charged particle will be maximum. Okay, the force experienced by the particle is maximum. That is nothing but the value you are going to get as F is equal to BQV sine 90 degree. So sine 90 is nothing but equal to 1. So the value of F comes out to be as F is equal to BQV. That means that thus a charged particle experiences the maximum force when it moves perpendicular to the magnetic field. Okay, so this is regarding the three cases of that, the force experienced by the charged particle moving in the presence of magnetic field. Okay, so next, coming to this direction, how we are going to find the direction of a charge which has been experienced the force. Okay, so see here, the force experienced by the charged particle which is moving in the presence of magnetic field is given by the Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, so you can see there the thumb denotes the, which is that finger, I mean f, the thumb denotes the vector f. Okay, and next represents the vector b. and the another represents the current I. Okay, so you can see that if you stretch your left hand in a such a way that the first finger, the middle finger and the thumb, the first finger represents what? Direction of magnetic field. The middle finger represents the direction of current, and the thumb represents the direction of force experienced by the charge. So hence, in order to find the force experienced by the charge, okay, depending upon the angle of theta, okay, so you can make use of this thumb, left hand thumb rule. Okay, thumb denotes the direction of force, the first finger represents the direction of magnetic field, and the middle finger represents the current. Okay, so this is regarding the direction how you are going to find by making use of this Fleming's left hand rule. Okay, do one thing, just go through once about this force on a moving charge in a magnetic field once. In case any doubts, please do ask. Okay, just go through for a few minutes. Okay, any doubts you can ask. Okay, fine. Have you understood how to find the force by making use of this Fleming's left hand rule? Any doubts regarding that? Yes, reply. Any doubts? Okay, fine. See you. Coming to the next, that is Lorentz force. Okay, so just go through the first line there about that Lorentz force. Okay, so see you. Lorentz force. The total force experienced by a charged particle moving in a region where both electric field and magnetic fields are present is called a Lorentz force. Okay, so whenever the charge is moving in the presence of both electric field and magnetic field, so the charge experiences both electric field and magnetic, the charge experiences both the force, that is electric force and magnetic force. So the total force which is experienced by the charge due to electric field and magnetic field is called as the Lorentz force we call. Okay, so as you know that the charge experienced by the charge experiencing the force due to electric field is given by the equation F is equal to Q into E, right? So F subscript E is equal to Q vector E, where E denotes the electron there. Okay, so next, coming to the equation of the magnetic force experienced by the charge moving in the presence of magnetic field is given by F subscript M is equal to Q into vector V cross vector B. Okay, so these are the equations for force experienced by the electric field and force experienced by the magnetic field. So next, what we are going to do, we need to add the both. Okay, so when you add it, you are going to get that one as vector F is equal to vector F subscript E plus vector F subscript M. So combining the both vector Fe and vector Fm, we are going to get the total force as vector F is equal to small q into vector E plus vector V cross vector B. Okay, so vector F is equal to small q into vector E plus V cross vector V cross vector B. So this is the total force experienced by the charged particle when it is moving in the presence of both electric field and magnetic field. Okay, is it fine about that Lorentz force there? Yes, is it fine, students? Any doubts you can ask in that Lorentz force? Have you understood, or shall we move to the next topic? Okay, fine. Next, moving to this expression for the force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. Okay, so this is nothing but when you place the conductor. Okay, that name itself, that is the heading itself, says that expression for force on a current carrying conductor in a magnetic field. As we know that when you place the conductor, okay, so when the current is flowing through the conductor, what happens, there is a presence of magnetic field, right? So due to that magnetic field, what happens, that magnetic field exerts the force on the charge which is in motion. Okay, so we need to derive in terms of mathematical equation. So what is the force experienced by the current carrying conductor due to the magnetic field, or when it is placed in the magnetic field. Okay, so see here, let me explain, I mean, let me read out that first paragraph there. It is said that consider a conductor carrying current is placed in a magnetic field. The electrons moving inside the conductor experience the force as they are moving. As a result, the whole conductor also experiences force due to the magnetic field. The total force experienced by a conductor is the resultant of force experienced by all the electrons inside the conductor. Okay, so here, as you know that whenever the electron, I mean the charges is in motion in the presence of electric field, so the charge experiences the force, right? So that is what they have given. When you place the current carrying conductor in the when you are going to place the current carrying conductor in the magnetic field, so what happens, the electrons which is moving inside the conductor experiences the magnetic force, okay, when they are in motion. So due to this, what happens, the whole conductor, since the electrons is in motion inside the conductor, so what happens, the whole conductor experiences the magnetic force. Okay, so hence the total force experienced by the conductor can be said that it is the resultant force of all the electrons present inside a conductor. Okay, so next it is said that let us consider a conductor of length L and area of cross section A. Let the conductor has electron density N. Let I be the current flowing through the conductor. Okay, so see here, just you can see in the figure there, you have a conductor. Okay, the length of the conductor is denoted by L, and the area of cross section of that conductor is denoted by A. And you can see the direction of magnetic field, it is towards the right. Okay, and the conductor which we have placed in the magnetic field, it is making an angle of theta. Okay, it is making an angle of theta, and you can see that the direction of current is towards the upward direction. Okay, the direction of current is towards the upward. Okay, so next, the force acting on charge q is given by, as you know that the force experienced by the charge q, let us take a charge. Okay, force acting on a charge q is given by what, it is nothing but given as, written as F is equal to q into vector v cross vector b, which we have come across in the last previous derivation there, right? So next, as you know that the total charge flowing through conductor. Okay, in order to calculate the total charge flowing through the conductor, we are going to write that one as q is equal to n into al into e. Okay, this is the equation which we have taken from the previous chapter, that is the current electricity chapter there. I think if you just recall that chapter, you will come across this equation there, that is q is equal to, that is the total charge of a conductor, can be written as q is equal to n into al into e. So that small n denotes the electrons per unit length there. Okay, next, a and l is nothing but, a is the area and l is the length, it gives the total volume of the conductor. Next, e is nothing but the charge. Okay, e is nothing but the charge. So next, it is said that f is equal to, if you substitute the value of f, if we substitute the value of q in this equation, so what you are going to get, f is equal to n into al into e into vector v cross vector b. Okay, next what we are going to do, we will take out that that f is equal to, we will write the same thing as vector f is equal to NaEV into vector L into vector B. Okay, just we have taken the L inside the bracket there. Okay, F is equal to NaEV into vector L cross vector B. So next, as you know that NeAV is nothing but what, it is the current. Okay, so even this we have taken from the last chapter, current electricity. Okay, so just if you go through that notes. Okay, after the class you will come to know that. So I is equal to NeAV. Okay, so hence we are going to replace that NaEV by the letter I, that is the current. So hence the last, that is the next equation, can be written as vector F is equal to I into vector L cross vector B. Okay, vector F is equal to I into vector L cross vector B. So in terms of magnitude, how we are going to write? We are going to write the magnitude of force on a current carrying conductor can be written as F is equal to ILB sin theta. Okay, F is equal to ILB sin theta or F is equal to BIL sin theta. In some of the textbook they have given as F is equal to BIL sin theta, one and the same. Okay, F is equal to BIL sin theta or F is equal to ILB sin theta. Okay, so this is regarding the force experienced by the conductor which is placed in the presence of the magnetic field making an angle of theta. Okay, just go through once the derivation. Just go through once. In case if you have any doubts, please let me know. Okay, so here F is equal to ILB sin theta, right? So theta is the angle between the magnetic field and the length of the conductor. Okay, so theta is the angle between the length and L and vector B there. Okay, so see here where theta is the angle between the direction of magnetic field and the direction of flow of current. Oh, okay, sorry, it is the angle between the current and the magnetic field. Okay, so now to find, there is a some of the special cases. Okay, so when it is said that the force experienced by the current carrying conductor is maximum, so the same thing what we are going to take is depending upon the value of theta. Since you have sin theta, right, F is equal to BIL sin theta. So theta is nothing but when you take theta value as 0 degree or 180 degree. So since you know that sin 0 or sin 180 is nothing but 0, right? So hence the force experienced by the conductor, current carrying conductor placed in the presence of magnetic field is nothing but equal to 0. Okay, so the current carrying conductor doesn't experiences any force there. So next case 2, that is if theta is equal to 90 degree. So what happens? Sin 0 or sin 180 is nothing but equal to 1. So hence when you substitute the value theta is equal to 90 degree, so you are going to get the equation as F is equal to ILB sin 90 degree, that is nothing but equal to ILB or BIL, which is maximum. So hence whenever you place the current carrying conductor perpendicular to the direction of magnetic field, the current carrying conductor experiences the maximum force. Okay, when it is placed, when the current carrying conductor is placed parallel or anti-parallel to the direction of magnetic field, the force experienced by the current carrying conductor is nothing but equal to 0. Okay, so this is regarding the force expression for force on a current carrying conductor when placed in the presence of magnetic field making an angle of theta. Okay, is this fine? Is this fine, students? See, just go through the topics which we have done today. We have left out with only 2 minutes. Just go through the derivation which we have done with today's class. In case any doubts, you can let me. Okay, have you understood what we have discussed today? The topics which we have discussed today, have you understood? Any doubts, you can please ask. Okay, fine. Um, with this thing, we will end up today's class. Okay. The next derivation, that is motion of a charged particle in a uniform magnetic field, will be discussed in the next class. Okay. So with this, I am concluding today's class. Thank you, students.